Welcome to Makes Remote Work. Today's guest is Jordan Vreeland, founder of 14 Days to Close. He runs a mortgage business where speed matters, pressure is constant, and the team is spread across locations and time zones. We talk about how he built a remote setup that actually works, how he keeps accountability without micromanaging, and how remote work helps his team move faster, not slower. Hope you enjoy. All right, welcome in to the podcast, everyone. Today's guest, Jordan Vreeland of Vreeland Real Estate Team and 14 Days to Close. We'll get into that in a second. There's a couple of degrees there that we can dive into. Is our guest for today. And Jordan, thank you so much for joining us. Really pumped to have you here in this conversation. You know, you're somewhat of a local celebrity as far as the Rome team goes. So
Oh,
thank you so much for joining us here today.
awesome. Thank you, man.
So tell me about your business, 14 Days to Close. Is the business model truly like you're closing a loan in 14 days? Is that what you're trying to stick to? Is that what that name sort of implies? And tell me about like the coordination and just generally how your team is set up to do that.
How long ago I did it. It's 14 days to close. I think some other people had faster closes and we were trying to separate ourselves and we were getting beat by investor deals like close fast as cash. And sometimes there's 7 and 10. And like, man, we have to figure a way to get in front of agents and just say, hey, we're going to work 7 days a week. We're going to get a clear close. We're going to get this thing done. So 14 days to close was something we came up with. It works well. Most times the seller doesn't want to close that fast. So we'll say, yeah, we can go. If you want to do it, we're ready. Like, we're going to call you Saturday, Sunday, we're going. But most times the seller's like, all right, slow down. You could do, I've seen your track record, case studies, we got it. But a lot of times it doesn't play out, but it's our secret weapon. We could do it if we need.
Now, how is your team structured? Are you strictly remote, hybrid? How does it break down basically?
We're headquartered in Tampa, Florida.
Hmm.
We have loan officers, processing, agents at times, they come in. Agents are in different parts of Florida. And then we have our Eagle team, which is our ISA division. We have an office in the Philippines. So it's really tough to get everybody to come into the office. So this,
Yeah.
this is where Rome comes in.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And so, in that sort of sense, closing anything in 14 days has got to be pretty tight coordination, right? How has remote work basically influenced your field, your industry, and more importantly, like your team?
I think it's who you have, really. There's some individuals that need to come into the office because they need that massive accountability. There's others you could say, hey, I trust you're going to get your stuff done. So I know you're going to do it. I know you're going to work till 2 in the morning, or you're going to get it done by 4:30 and you're good for the rest of the day. So it just depends on the team. But when you're running mortgage, real estate, title, and ISA division, it's tough because a lot of agents, they fight to not come in the office. Why not? We're right here. The culture's better. All these things are there, but they may be in 3 hours away or 5 hours or 10 or 15 hours away. So they can't physically come in. ISA, title, they're in different areas. So it's really hard. It's best when the culture is inside. We've tried Google Meet and Zoom and like a lot of different systems, and they were good, all great companies. It was just really hard culturally, and being able to navigate a lot faster was like a separating factor of us changing. And you made us change in 2 days, by the way. In 2 days, we were off Zoom. Like,
Yeah.
we're ripping the Band-Aid off. We're on Zoom. Everybody's moving around. I don't want it. And then after a while, they're joking. They're jumping in rooms. This is great. We're handling stuff. I'm like, yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
the organic nature of it all really does, come together nicely, specifically in Rome. But like you said, you're a 7-day team, so grind never stops, so to speak. And there may be, I'm sure there are times where you're working later nights, right? And you're having conversations that aren't generally defined in that 9 to 5 window. So being a remote team, I'm sure helps with that too. Are there any other things that you value in a remote landscape that like you maybe necessarily didn't have 20 years ago, when it wasn't so primary?
Yeah, we used to have to FedEx documents to clients and they FedEx them back and we FedEx them to the bank and like, are we good? Or then like we're fax machine back and forth. So anybody that tells me it's funny, you get a loan officer, an agent, like, oh, this is so tough. So tough. Like, you're literally in the room with the agent that you can't get on the phone, but you can get in, share a screen and just organize stuff. You can have a client jump in and handle things. So just in general, the technology is amazing compared to what we had 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah. And culturally speaking, are there any things that you do specifically as a leader of like a hybrid or remote force that like you really feel like you couldn't do without? Like what's part of your routine as like a president, right? Like what's What's that look like from your perspective? Do you try to have a close relationship with everybody? Do you do
Yeah.
all hands meetings? Like what's the like schedule of events look like there?
Yeah, I mean, we have live times where it's shifted out. So there's 7 days a week because we have a lot of lead flow coming in. So when's the next lead come in? Anytime. So you be ready at all times, and loan officers and agents and ISAs, they have to be ready to go. Processors, transaction coordinators. So we have set times to when they can pick their schedule, but we have to fill it up the whole time. And and I just before this, I just did 2 one-on-ones. Where? On Rome.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
shared screen, talked about it. We're joking around, we're fist bumping. It just makes it a lot easier. It just streamlines a lot of the processes. I think you guys told me in the beginning, and I was like, okay, I don't understand.
Yeah.
And I don't have to do Loom videos. I don't have to do Calendly. I don't have to do Slack. Like we were bound, and I always add more text, so the team hates it, right? It's change. And they're like, no, we don't like. Trust me, this is a good one.
Have you seen a shift where there are more people moving to different areas? This is like less about maybe your team as a core, more just like a sense of a state of the industry. Like I don't know how to really phrase it, but like, are you seeing more people because they're taking remote jobs go to areas that normally maybe wouldn't have been an area of interest in previous years as like a home buyer or a customer?
We did with COVID, man, we did a lot. I mean, you guys in the Northeast, you moved down to Florida immediately because you had a, 1,000 square foot and you're paying a ton of money for it in the city or wherever. And you're coming down in Palm Beach. I have a 4,000 square foot house. Like in certain markets, we're also seeing a shift that a lot of employers are doing pullback. So they're saying, hey, come back in. I don't care if you move, whatever you do, come back in. So they're trying to push them to come back in the office because of culture is what we're seeing in general. You still have the remote jobs. We struggle with it too. I mean, there's individuals that have to come to the office to get their stuff done. Then there's others that they actually work better from home because in the office it's too much stimulation and
Hmm.
but they can concentrate and focus. It really just depends on the team you have and a lot of it type of individual. Where are they best served?
Yeah, no, I agree with that too. Everybody works a little bit differently. I guess, in the spirit of short conversations, we'll wrap up with this next one. My question to you is any advice that you would give out to other founders, that are starting a company and generally leaning more towards this remote direction? Any piece of advice that you would give there?
Yeah, I mean, I presented on this about a week ago in front of a lot of mortgage and real estate advisors, and like 4 or 5 right after said, "I need it." And I put Roman, and we were talking, and I just
Yeah,
present,
yeah.
"Hey, this is maybe it's not for you, but this has helped us." And a lot of it is how to communicate with people and how you don't need everybody inside an office because sometimes if you're a leader, you got a lot of got minutes. Like you got a line outside your door and they're just there and they're just, hey, you got a minute? I want to quit. Like, thanks for taking 30 minutes of my time for you to quit. Like, so a lot of times on remote, I tend to like it more just because I can get things done. I can pick my meetings, pick my battles, go into the meetings that mean the most, and I can like move the needle. So I think as a leader in general, it makes you more productive because when you have a lot of people in the office, you're like a sitting duck. Like you're there, they're trying to grab you, you're trying to get something to eat. Like, I gotta hurry, I gotta get out of
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's there's a lot. It's a whole different element. Culturally speaking, the face to face stuff is always good, and but then you, like you said, you got the Gata minutes and a lot of time wasted too. You're not as productive as you would be remotely. So, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for the conversation. Genuinely appreciate it. Look forward to hearing more about the business and talking to you in Rome. Thanks a lot for coming by.
Awesome, man. Thank you, bud.
Awesome. Thanks for coming by, everybody. Take care. Bye.